Hello and welcome back to Ikigai Teen podcast series. I'm Irene, your host and founder of Ikigai Teen, a movement to help parents, educators, and communities raise resilient, emotionally strong, and purpose-driven teens. The topic for today's episode 5 is digital distractions and social media pressures and why teens just can't switch off. If you have been following our episodes, you know that last time we explored why teens don't think like adults yet. We learned that their brains are under renovation, creative, emotional, and curious, but not always rational or cautious. Today, in this episode, we go a step further into the digital maze that most of our teens are trapped in. The world of digital distractions and social media pressures. This is one of the biggest challenges modern parents face, not just in India, but globally. Let's therefore unpack what's happening in our teens' digital worlds, what it's doing to their focus and self-worth, and what you, as parents, can practically do to help them build digital balance and inner confidence. Firstly, a reality check on why it's not just a phase. Here's a sobering fact. According to the World Health Organization's 2024 report, teens spend an average of 7 to 9 hours a day on screens, excluding schoolwork. That's more time than they spend sleeping, eating, or talking to their families. Now, we often say kids these days are glued to their phones. For most of us, that's a blanket statement with no further exploration or action. This being glued to the phone is more complex than that. The phone isn't just a gadget. It's their social space, validation space, and often their emotional escape route. A common sense media report found that 1 in 3 teens who wake up at least once at night in the midst of sleep to check notifications. That means even daily rest and recovery, the two vital brain functions and needs, are disrupted regularly. So when you see your teen irritated, distracted, or moody, it's not always attitude. It's overstimulation from screens and their brain's response to too much input too fast for too long. And that too with sleep deprivation on a regular basis. We will dedicate an episode to importance of sleep for growing brains, but for now, let's continue with the topic on hand. And what about social media pressure cooker? Social media is where teens now measure their worth. They don't just use Instagram or Snapchat, they literally live in there. Every like, comment, and view hits their dopamine center, the brain's reward zone. The problem? It's a short-lived high, and the moment it fades, they crave for more. It's no wonder that teens' anxiety rates have risen by 52% globally in the last decade. Much of that anxiety is linked to online comparison. A survey conducted in Bengaluru, the Silicon Valley of East in 2024 by the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, found that 62% of teens felt not good enough after scrolling social media feeds. It's heartbreaking, but it's fixable with awareness and connection. Meantime, do you know your teen's take on that? We're not addicted, we are connected. And you'll often hear them say, we're not glued, we just don't want to miss out. And they're not wrong. Knowingly or unknowingly, adolescence is a phase encrypted with testing distance from parents and exploring other options and boundaries, which means they look for other connections such as peers, and teens fear disconnection from friends, trends, and belonging. In fact, researchers called FOMO, the fear of missing out, which triggers anxiety similar to withdrawal symptoms seen in substance use. From their lens, switching off feels like social suicide. But as parents, our job isn't to lecture about screen time. It's to help them redefine what connection means both online and offline. Let's now wear the parent lens to see what helps and what hurts. Let's be honest. Many of us adults are also digitally distracted. How many times have we said, 1 minute, I'm checking work mail, and then found ourselves scrolling for 20, 40 minutes? The truth is, we model what we allow. So here are 4 practical things that help. Start with joint reflection, not rules. Have a sit down and talk together. Instead of you're on the phone too much or you're glued to the phone always, try, I feel like our family is getting less time together. Let's all check our screen habits this week. From there, the next step. Create screen-safe spaces. Make the dining table and bedroom screen-free for everyone, not just teens. So everyone buys in, agrees, and follows, no exceptions. And then, replace judgment with curiosity. Ask, what do you enjoy most online? You'll be surprised at how quickly walls come down. You may find them pause to pinpoint what exactly. This silence and pondering may stimulate a process of self-audit in them. And lastly, offer purpose, not punishment. Encourage hobbies, sports, music, or volunteering. Something that gives them dopamine from achievement, not approval from engaging on social media. Let's hear this analogy to get that right. Think of digital input like sugar. A small treat makes you happy, but constant sweet makes you tired, hyper, irritable, stimulated, and craving for more sweets. Social media is mental sugar. It gives teen momentary pleasure but drains their focus and emotional energy over time. And just like a balanced diet keeps the body healthy, a balanced digital diet keeps their mind healthy. So parents, there's hope and healing by building digital balance. The good news is teen brains are incredibly adaptable and flexible. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire, means they can unlearn unhealthy patterns much faster than adults. Teenage is in fact the best time for learning, trying, failing, unlearning, relearning, and forming habits that can support them lifelong. You don't need to cut off Wi-Fi. You just need to reconnect emotionally. The goal is not no screen, but wise screen. Example, let's get your teen into an art class and perhaps a sport. Now, to do well in those 2 fields, they would of course explore screens once again. But this time it is not random to remain connected with no specific agenda to it, but with the purpose of excelling in that art and sport because they have just found a bigger mine of dopamine in those 2 hobbies that engage their bodies and minds more holistically than digital screens. Okay, starting this week, try this family rule. No screens after 9 p.m. for all of us. Dock all screens outside of bedroom and agree that everyone complies. You'll notice calmer moods, better sleep, and richer conversations within a week. And parents, remember, you're not competing with technology. You're modeling balance by finding and giving healthier alternatives. Once a mom told me, I wish there was a parental control setting for my teen's mood. I smiled and said, there is. It's called your calmness. It's true. Your energy regulates theirs far more than you realize. So, as we wrap up today's episode, remember, digital distraction isn't a moral failure. It's a modern reality. But with awareness, structure, and consistent empathy, families can thrive in the digital age. If you have not watched episode 3, I strongly recommend you go watch it, as this episode is built on it, and these 2 episodes will build into the next very interesting topic, which is the silent struggles, anxiety, stress, and self-esteem in teens. And you don't want to miss it. Before you go out, don't forget to download your parent bonus resource linked in this description, packed with practical tools, reflection points, and small action that can help your teen find digital balance this week. Thank you for listening to Ikigai Teen Podcast. This is Irene reminding you once again, teens are not our private assets, but the wealth of the future world. Let's raise them with presence, purpose, and peace. Take care. Signing out.